front margin, back margin piece, but retailers really got themselves in trouble. Hence, a number of things that have happened because the cash that they would extract from suppliers got too much sort of seesawed towards the back margin, so that the suppliers would have much greater control over the retailer because the retailer have to sort of dance in a certain way in order to sort of be able to realise that money. Whereas now, in order to simplify businesses, they've tried to move a lot more of that money into the front margin. So that means that there's less of this cash that can be sort of left at quarters and half years and full years that, again, suppliers sort of would then use to leverage outcomes and fundamentally just be obsessed about the outcomes that they could deliver with the retailer. So that relationship is quite important. But, I think there's still money to be leveraged, but you wouldn't want the outcome to be stopping trucks as it would be described.
Yeah, and so just to understand that reduction, that the supply can reduce the investment in. So we're talking about how they change their working capital and how they change their in-store marketing, or is it something beyond that?
No. So it would be simple things like gate fees. So, if you put X product in the front of store, I'll give you X amount of money. And if you put that product in that place, I will contribute in a cost-saving way, some sort of retro or some sort of case cost reduction against your ability to run, let's say, £16 on Smirnoff. So, there's two building blocks there, as well as I would like to feature in this event, et cetera, et cetera. On top of that, then you've got the things you're describing, which is I'm choosing to invest in, the suite of things that are available to me, either through dunnhumby or whatever that might be. So, your investment in Tesco can change. And in certain places, that's certainly very profitable for the retailer to bring the cash in that way. But yeah, in terms of working capital, then clearly you'll have to make decisions about your business and your manufacturing, etc. as well, because you don't want too much product sat around you.
Yeah, it's helpful. And bringing this together on the pricing that you've seen in the last 16 years in the categories, and sort of trying to do this on a bit longer term. So I don't know if you were aware of the pricing that sort of surrounded your time in each of the departments, rather than just sort of 2-year pricing, but any way you can help us understand, I guess, in terms of above inflation, in line with inflation, or below general inflation, how much pricing these brands were seeing over sort of a 5 to 10 year plus period, and whether there was any differences between categories on that?
So I think, again, systems are more helpful. So back to your point about data and record keeping and history of kind of cost prices more generally, that was a paper exercise. I'm talking a while ago now, not recently, and therefore historically being able to sort of see the journey on cost would have been more difficult. Now the system is much more sophisticated, and to such an extent you can, and certainly the good retailers have done this, have sought out to forensically understand the breakdown of a product. So, if it's a can of tomatoes, to sort of give a simple example, how much of it is tin, how much of it is tomato, how much is production, energy that goes into it, transportation, et cetera, et cetera. So you can really then get underneath the skin of, am I buying well? Or as a shield, kind of when these conversations were to arise, to what extent is it valid and justified? Good one of late would be currency and fluctuations in currency, and to what extent does this justify a cost increase, or to what extent would it trigger in your own mind an opportunity for you to buy better? So that is much better nowadays than it had been historically, and therefore the information at the fingertips of buyers is I guess therefore stronger. It used to be a bit of smoke and mirrors about, justification for costs and input costs and X, Y, Z. But now a lot of retailers are certainly looking towards like commodity pricing and, what are the market prices that look into that. That's all fine and interesting. But what's quite challenging with alcohol is that I don't know if you sort of appreciated the breakdown of duty and VAT.
Yeah.
And the significance of that in, the